Welcome to ABC Consult channel. Today, I'll be walking you through 5 important skills for a business analyst. If you are yet to subscribe to the channel, kindly subscribe and of course, share the link with friends. Thank you. Today, we'll be talking about 5 important skills for any business analyst. And in order for us to talk about these skills, I'll be walking you through each of them, and at the end of this session, I'm sure you will have a very good understanding of all these skills and how you can apply them even in your place of work. So talking about these skills, I'll begin with the time management skill, conflict management skill, stakeholder management skill, excellent communication skill, as well as process modeling skill. Time management skill. Talking about the time management skill, this has got to do with a business analyst ensuring that the time is managed effectively and efficiently. In order for you to ensure that your time is managed effectively and efficiently as a business analyst, it is important for you to leverage the prioritization technique. With the prioritization technique, you can easily identify or you can categorize your activity or task into the must-have, the should-have, the could-have, and they won't have. If you don't know what Moscow prioritization is all about, I will advise that you check my previous video where I spoke on Moscow prioritization technique. So you can also leverage this technique into your activities as a business analyst. How do you categorize the task? How do you categorize the activities on your desk in order to ensure that it is aligned with the expectation of the project, and it also helps in achieving the required task expected of you as a business analyst. Also important that while you are setting your activities, ensures that your activity to a large extent align with the SMART goal or the SMART technique. Ensure that your activities to a large extent is specific, is measurable, is achievable, is relevant, and of course to a large extent is timely. You can also ensure that you make use of the visualization board. You can leverage the Kanban board in order to provide some form of visualization to your activities so that you don't omit any important activity that is meant to be done. The Kanban board provides to a large extent 3 columns where you can identify your to-do activity, in progress, and of course activities that are done. So you can always use this board in order to manage your task and of course ensure that you don't omit any task, as well as you are right on track when it comes to every activity that is expected of you to deliver even as a business analyst. The next skill that I'll be talking about has to do with the conflict management skill. And of course, I'll share some experience while discussing this skill. It is important for you as a business analyst to know how to, of course, manage conflict. Conflicts can be in requirement, conflicts can be within stakeholders, working on a project. Very important. In order for you to manage conflict, especially when it comes to conflict within stakeholders on a project, it is important for you to ensure that you identify the underlying problem that has got to bring about this conflict. Now, in this case, you want to identify or you want to understand the position of each stakeholder. Why has this different stakeholder decided to opt for this different solution, or as the case may be? I've got a situation where on one of the projects I was working on, we had a situation where a stakeholder would prefer the AWS to the Azure. Now we have another stakeholder who prefers the Azure platform, to AWS. On this occasion, I was able to understand the opinion of each of the stakeholder and why they had decided to opt for this cloud computing service that each of them had been able to choose. After having a very good understanding of the personal opinion of these 2 stakeholders, I was able to, as a business analyst, carry out my research and of course identify the benefits, the risk, as well as the cost, to each option. That is, I was able to carry out an option analysis on these 2 cloud computing service, and I was able to present to both parties the benefits, the cost, and the risk. This gives them, or this allowed these particular stakeholders to make an informed decision, because to a large extent I've been able to provide to them the benefits, the cost, and the risk, and this allowed them to reach a consensus on this subject matter being discussed. So in order for you to manage conflict when it comes to stakeholder, very important for you to understand the position of the stakeholders and of course carry out a research in order to identify the benefits and ensure that you put yourself in the perspective of the stakeholder in order to provide to them an information that will help them reach a decision. Thank you. The next skill I'll be talking about has got to do with managing stakeholder or stakeholder management. In order for you to manage stakeholder, it is important for you to understand the two important elements that has got to do with managing stakeholder, which are the power of the stakeholder as well as the interest of the stakeholder. You want to ensure that you understand the power of this stakeholder. Is it high power? Is it low power? Or is it a stakeholder with high interest on the project or low interest on the project? If you have not seen my video where I explain extensively what stakeholder management is all about, I will advise that you go watch the video, as this will give you a very good understanding as to how you can ensure that you manage your stakeholder. You want to ensure that you manage stakeholder so as to ensure that the project is delivered or solution is implemented successfully. Excellent communication skill is the next skill that I'll be talking about. Talking about your excellent communication skill, this has got to do with simple tasks as eliciting requirements, facilitating workshop, documenting requirements, and of course decomposing these requirements into user story and acceptance criteria, ensuring that your user story conforms to a large extent with the INVEST principle, leveraging the Gherkin syntax or any other technique to communicate your simple acceptance criteria in order to provide clarity for the testers when testing is being carried out. So excellent communication skill is very essential to a business analyst. The last skill that I'll be talking about has got to do with your process modeling skill or with the process modeling skill. So talking about process modeling, you can leverage MS Visio in order to, of course, drill down into your process by looking at the different swim lane, the task, the connections, as well as the decision gates that, of course, could be present in any process. So your ability to leverage the business modeling notation or even in some cases the UML in order to map your process is very essential, as this will provide clarity to the business stakeholder as well as to the of course the development team. All these skills that I've mentioned so far are very critical for a business analyst, and of course application of all these skills will help you to deliver your task successfully as a business analyst. Thank you for watching, and if you are yet to subscribe, kindly subscribe to the channel as well as share the links with friends. Thank you. Bye.